Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. That's it. That's our live stream.
Uh, I'm echoing and I can't find my YouTube tab.
Oh no.
There it is. Okay, quiet. There we go. Wait, why? Where's the chat?
Oh, I see the
Oh,
chat.
it's down here. Why is the chat down here?
Why is the chat anywhere?
I don't know. Things look different. You're not supposed to win your midnight bets, Mike.
That's the point. Yeah.
I'm gonna start betting you an hour on a free spin.
It's a win-win for Bob. All right. Second half of the show. Who are we talking to? I mean, what are we talking about?
I don't know. Airtime, Mike.
Should we talk about our IAPA booth next year?
Yeah, the Coaster Talk guy have a booth. We can afford that, right?
It's in the budget, yeah. Maybe for 15 minutes we could have a booth at IAPA. Maybe we could pool enough money together for that.
No. There's no payment. It's a bet. If you lose, you have to ride a free spin for an hour, and if I lose, I have to ride a free spin for an hour. Seems fair to me.
I think he's saying that instead of riding, he'd get $300. No, that can't be right. Maybe he just heard the free spin part.
All he heard was free spin, and he's just immediately thinking of ways of getting out of it.
Needs money.
We're gonna do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Doesn't really show up that well on the camera. Can you tell it's two different colors?
I can, yeah. It's like white up top and then blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
All
I
right.
want to be a part of it. New York.
We could just talk about the IAPA announcements after the break.
It's not a show.
I'm actually not kidding.
Do you want to actually?
I mean, I don't.
Some of that's not even news, so technically you could say that. Like,
I don't want to sit here for like an hour trying to think about something to do, only for us to go, you know what? I give up. Let's just do what Bob said in the first place. Apple's to apple for an hour. You'd have to wait in line for an hour first.
that is if it's open too, because it goes down more than I've ever
Does it
seen.
really?
Yeah, it goes down a bunch.
Why does it go down? Like, it
Just a lot
can't be that complicated of a ride.
A lot of faults.
Well, that's silliness. So, Mike, what do you think Kennywood's doing tomorrow?
Oh shit, we didn't. That's not on there.
No, well, we're not going to talk about that. Because they're going to announce it tomorrow. Like we're not. They're no, we're not talking about that. Because whatever we say is irrelevant.
Well, we should say that we're not going to talk about it then.
No, just ignored it. Ignore that it's a thing.
No.
SNS drop tower. That's interesting.
Yeah, people keep saying, "Oh, they left the kangaroo spot up," but I'm like, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be utilized as kangaroo. Just because they kept the operator booth and the electricity going doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to have kangaroo there. I think that's a good bet, but
I think that's the safest place to put money. I mean,
I think
I'm
they're
not
gonna
one.
if they bring back kangaroo, it'll be like a re-engineered version of it probably, because they're so like persistent that it's like there was an error with the rod and it was like unable to operate. I think we'll see like a it's being given to them by who?
Oh, because they screwed up steel curtain.
Oh, it's given to
That's
them by
interesting.
SNS. I thought like from another park.
That's actually a decent. That's interesting. That's an interesting angle. Why not give him a free spin? That's what they should do. They should give him a free spin.
Put it in the spot of kangaroo.
No, no.
You mean Pitfall? Oh, you're saying since Widow came, I think. Was Pitfall good? Wasn't Pitfall just an Intamin?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's one of the, they have one
It
of those in
was.
Canada's Wonderland.
I won at Six Flags America too.
Yeah, Voodoo Drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Except the free spin's not a bad coaster.
Is Steel Curtain bad?
I know. Maybe they'll give him a pneumatic launch coaster.
Is it? Are you saying that you don't like Steel Curtain either? Have you ridden Steel Curtain?
Who?
You rode Steel Curtain. So is
I
it?
wrote.
He said it's. Why would they take another bad coaster? Is Steel Curtain bad? Don't you like it?
It's. I mean, it's. Yeah, it's a good coaster. Like it's not topping charts for me, but it's not bad.
Okay.
I mean, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it turned out to be. Turned out being.
Why?
Because I was like, oh my god. Well, because when you announce, oh, we're going to have the most inversions, that's usually an automatic like this is going to suck.
I don't know about that.
Because they because the problem is the designers then trying to fit all of those check marks without actually engineering the whole flow of the ride.
Well, I mean,
But that's where Draves came through. He actually checked all those boxes while actually keeping the flow of the ride where you're not like really
you think
I
about
don't
it, all
know.
the other inversion record breakers are all like favored rides. Smiler, everyone likes that. Banshee was the they held the record for the U.S. for a little bit. That's a great ride.
Yeah, but the thing is that like Banshee, that's a massively long coaster in comparison to what they're like. You took what Steel Curtain was going to be, and then fit that many inversions into that small package. That's what was scaring me.
That's fair, but I don't think inherently the announcement of it's going to be a world record breaking coaster is.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I love about Steel.
I
Like
don't think
that's when you have a
Steel
good
Curtain and
inversion.
Banshee
A
are
good
not.
inversion is one where you don't feel like, oh my god, I'm upside down.
Steel
Like you
Curtain is
just
not that much
you
longer than.
like
I mean, that much shorter than Banshee. It's like they're probably about the same length, actually.
I mean, it fits in a smaller area.
Are you fact checking me?
I am. I'm not arguing with you.
I know.
I'm just curious.
I would. They're probably about like.
No, you're right. It's only 124 feet shorter.
Yeah.
Wow. It does take up a lot less room, though.
It's more narrow.
The duration is a lot shorter. Steel Curtain's duration is a lot shorter, though. So there's that. 2 minutes versus 240.
That depends on who's measuring what, though. It could be from like, that could be like a chain lift measurement. I don't think it's 40 seconds. It can't be 100 feet longer and somehow be 40 seconds longer if we're counting from the edge of the end of the lift to the brake run on both.
Huh?
I said they can't be 40 seconds longer and then somehow be only 100 feet in length longer if we're measuring from the same
It
points.
can. It's called speed.
And they're not much. They're about the same speed.
Yeah, but there's a difference between max speed and sustained speed.
I know, but if
Steel
anything, Steel
Curtain-
Curtain's faster. So, like
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
You're saying it's
Steel Curtain goes faster for more of the ride. Therefore, it's a shorter ride.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what is that speed like? The duration of the ride. I'm confused how that has to do with the flow of the ride. Like it still has the same. If the speed is different, it's like you're still transcending the same elements as if you're going like it's. I don't see how that's really. I don't know. We can't talk about this right now. We're gonna be up till like.
That's what I'm saying is what you're trying to argue is exactly what I was afraid of.
That
like, oh yeah, you're gonna be going faster through those elements and like it's just gonna be rougher.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I don't think that. Okay, that's fine.
But I think Draves just nailed it. Like he got the flow right where he's like.
You think it has better pacing, sure, but I don't.
I'm not talking about pacing. It does have better pacing, but I'm talking more of like natural flow. Like you just kind of like move in a natural physics. Like I don't know how to put it. All right. I feel like we talked about this Paramount Park before.
No, we talked about. There's one in like the UK or something that was.
Maybe that's what it was.
I don't think that was Paramount. Was it? Was it?
Or maybe, I don't know. No, I feel like we talked about Paramount somewhere.
Yeah, I think it might be the UK one. The London Resort. Yeah, this is it. We talked about the London Resort. It's a proposed theme park announced by London Paramount Entertainment Resort. Yeah.
You didn't go down to IAPA, did you, Mike?
I know where this is going.
You do? I don't know where it's going. I'm
Oh,
just curious.
thought you were gonna say if he did, you want to come on the show?
Oh, I mean, I don't care. We'd have him on anyway.
I know, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I don't really know the Paramount days of KD, but I feel like that's accurate. Oh, also, what's this about Sarah becoming a coaster idiot?
Honorary coaster idiot. I don't know if Mike has say in who's initiated. I think that's more Ryan.
What's that?
I don't know if Mike has so much say in who gets initiated.
I'm not looking for say. I'm looking for an explanation. So is she? I'm actually I'm honestly like was that a serious thing? Is she actually becoming a coaster idiot? All right. We need to we need to have Mike on the show to go through the initiation process because I want to know about this.
Secret. It's a cult. You can't know.
Is it a secret? Is it top secret, Mike?
I think so. It's like the Illuminati.
What do I have to do? If I want to become a coaster idiot? What do I have to do? That's the question. What do I have to do?
That is strictly confidential.
What is required of me? And did you have to ride a free spin for hours? And is that why you hate free spins?
Sing my song. I love how our chat is just all airtime, Mike.
It is, I know.
That's pretty great. All right, what's our weekly poll?
It's worse than a fraternity. Oh boy.
So you're comparing it to Greek life. So is it drinking?
It's run by Marcus of the Drunk Riders.
Or is it like some sort of hazing? You have to run through the parks naked or something? Mm.
Oh my god.
How many are there? I'm not far off. That's pretty. How many are there, if you guys know? Like 7? Eight. I was close. Well, if Bob's gonna become one, I'm gonna have to come on. I'll have to be when I'm 21 though, because I'm sure this is involving some of those substances. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if I could take initiations.
I know I could, but I don't know if I actually want to. Not because I don't want to be a custodian, but I don't know if they want me to become a custodian. And I'll be good. I'll be in frat. That'll be my custodians. So, still need a weekly poll. That's kind of like what we do.
Knowledge, but you're supposed to be an idiot.
Yeah. No. You gotta admit, this might be one of the greatest photos of all time, right here.
Okay. If you say so.
It's just sitting on my desk. I don't have nowhere to put it. Ugh.
Do we need a poll? Why did YouTube hide that? I don't understand YouTube at all.
Contronym.
It's like a contronym, yeah.
You have a degree. There's like some secret university.
A degree.
The El Toro Ryan University.
A degree.
Does that mean I'm out because I don't have a degree?
Does it depend on what your degree's in? I can't tell if he's not answering me now or if he's answering you.
He answered me because it was up before you asked on my screen. That's weird how YouTube does that. Like, I see you responding to something he said, and I'm like, what did he say? And then, like, 30 seconds later, it pops up on my screen.
That delay it's annoying. Because it's like you have conversations with people, and then I'm like, what are you talking about? Can't have a continuous conversation. The chat.
I like that.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Like, okay. Speaking of street degree, I'm going to use it right now. I posted this dome ride theater, and Coaster Labs goes off about an LED sphere screen, and he's saying like how that would be insanely expensive, and it couldn't be clear over that dome. Oh well, I love Intamin, so we're good. But like this guy's like I've talked to people that actually I need to talk to Telemonster and have him to go.
You said what?
Telemonster actually has one of those LED screens.
You can get it. I don't know what you're talking. Are you talking about that? Did you post it on Reddit? The video that you sent me?
Yeah. No, yeah, I did. But this guy's saying LED sphere screen sounds insanely expensive, but like It's not. They're little LED lights, and LED lights are cheap. And
Yeah, you can get a huge LED screen pretty cheap. I
well,
mean,
no, this
relatively.
isn't like LED TV.
No, I know. It's like the panels.
But yeah, it's like
And I know that I think I've seen parks, or not necessarily parks, but other entertainment venues like concert venues to have those, and football stadiums and stuff. You can point to those as examples if you want.
yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot of examples. Yeah, I think this guy is completely like talking. I mean, they used to be stupid expensive, like those matrices, but not anymore.
Oh, I do agree with him on one thing and one thing only. Oh, the
The
vomit.
vomit. Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate that, but oh, Pam, that's what I need. Oh, I need to make it. Yeah, that's what I need to make. Wonder how quickly I can make it.
Why did Pam just say I'm at Christmas Town?
Because I added her and said that we're live.
Oh. I thought you just randomly said that. I thought you were just talking about LED lights, and she's just like, I'm at Christmas
I
Town.
mean,
That wouldn't be far off character, but. Weekly poll: Should we see more implementations of these Intamin Dome rides, or really any?
yep. Oh wait, did I? Oh, I need that to be a GIF.
You know, we can't. No one else can use, other than people with Nitro, can use animated emojis
What?
like me or Timmy or anybody else that doesn't have Nitro can't use the animated emojis. We can only use like the basic, like just the still image.
Oh, you can't?
No,
Oh, that's disappointing.
I know. I saw like all the ones you added, and I'm like, oh, that'd be fun if I could use those.
I didn't know that. That's really disappointing. It makes me mad.
It does suck.
All right, well then I guess I'll make this. I was wondering why they like, because like I'm limited to how many emojis I can add, but then I have a whole separate bank for um. There's like a whole separate bank that can be used for animated. And I was like, why? Like why do they? Why does it matter? I guess. Man, that's really dumb. Like, really that makes makes me.
Yeah, we talked about that a while ago. I don't understand. I think Six Flags just seem to bought that green paint in bulk. They just have an extra amount of that paint. Because it's crazy why they're painting all their rides that color.
We could have Jill on the show.
She's not here.
Well, then what about Ewan McGregor? I can't pronounce the name. You know what I'm talking about.
Ewan McGregor?
Yeah, that's him.
If we could have Ewan McGregor on the show, Bob, I would have had that. Saranara. That's all. I'd be over there right now, giving him an interview. Oh, I see. I was wondering why you brought up Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, you got pull, James.
I do, but not that much. I got game, but I can't. I don't know if I can pull him. I wanted to give him one of my cards, but I'm like, it's not really roller coaster related. Like, it doesn't. I don't know if he's necessarily a roller coaster fan. I know he's a motorcycle.
What if he is? Maybe maybe he'll be our.
Neil Patrick Harris, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly considered it. You don't understand how hard I actually considered doing it. But I'm like, I don't want to make this awkward. Like he ends up he doesn't like roller coasters at all. I don't think there's any question that they will have the best coaster in Georgia after Air Force. I mean, you're talking Twisted Cyclone, which is just a lesser RMC, and then you're talking Goliath. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's much of a debate there. Hopefully it's not terrible. I can't see it being bad. You love the name, Mike? Well, you are you are in the minority for sure.
Wait, what?
He loves the name Air Force.
I think it's funny. Like I don't get the hatred for it.
I don't really disagree. I don't really hate it. I don't love it necessarily, but I don't hate it.
I think it's just I just think it's funny and like
you're the opposition for sure. But that's good.
That's what I'm all about. I'm all about tempering things. Like, no, guys, calm down. Still Vengeance isn't all that.
Oh my god. It's just called being a dick at some point. At some point we get to the bare bones of it all and it's just a dick. My only, from a marketing perspective, I think it's like they're gonna have to explain that every time. Like I don't think everyone's gonna get that. You know, it's not gonna click with everybody. So, I mean, hopefully they'll have something outside the front of the. Oh my god, I'm going lower.
Do you see this link that?
How does this go up? I'm like squatting on the floor right now. I'm gonna have to call the show off. I can't get my chair to go back up.
The show's canceled because James broke his chair.
Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Wait.
Get the Ethernet cable.
Oh. I don't know. There's like 40 levers on this thing. All right, hold up.
Next thing you know, James comes walking over with a stack of books to set his chair on top of.
All right, there we go. We're good. It's okay. We've made it past. Made it through. We've averted those issues. I know it's crazy to think Mike had to go through like 4 hours of his laptop malfunctioning and not working, and I was gonna cancel the show after my sheet going down for like 5 seconds. All right, weekly poll, and we can literally start the show. I don't understand.
I know. I could have been like watching Boy Meets World with the cast, and nope, I'm here.
I could be on the set of a movie with Obi-Wan Kenobi, but now I'm here.
Oh man, that show with me and Mike. Oh.
That was
That
was a shit.
I remember James waking up in the middle of the night and Bob, can you stop the stream? I'm like, why? We're still going. He's like, what?
Cannot see you. And I went back and scrolled all the way through, and it's been like 30 minutes. There's just nothing.
Yeah, you better correct that, Ben. No, there actually was a they were doing like watch like the I think there were like 3 of them. It was Ryder, Will, Danielle, and whoever played Angela, I forget her name. But they were like, you could go into this like online chat and like everybody was gonna watch the show together, this one episode together, and then they were gonna have like question and answer and stuff. It was kind of cool, but kind of collided with the podcast, and James said, "No, we gotta start the podcast at 9." Here it is. 10.
I've been falling asleep at school. I've been so tired. I gotta go to bed. I cannot push the show off. The thing is, we'd be getting on right now, and we'd be like an hour behind still. So it'd be like another hour until we started recording. We can start recording now if we just find a effing weekly poll. Literally, we don't have to be stuck with just a poll. It could be a trivia question. We could do that. We could take a different angle at it. We could ask a trivia question, or we could do like a what is this sound? I think we did that once. We never really did it again, but remember, I think I played like Voyage's Chain Lift, and then we asked people what chain lift it was, and they were like, "Oh, some people got it." I'm open to everything. I'm all yours.
I don't know, man. This is your domain.
Oh my god. All right.
We're out of it. Oh no. The way you said "all right" scares me. Oh no. Hey Mike. All right. Who in the chat? No other comments than this until we get answers. Who in the chat likes Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure?
This is the poll question, by the way.
Oh, see, I said no comments until we get answers, and there goes James sneaking in his comment.
I posted that before you said that.
What? It literally just came up now.
I posted it. Like as soon as I finished writing it on the actual document.
I don't care. You're lying.
I agree with that, Mike. See, the only reason I take this like such a like polar opposite stance to Bob is because he says it's so good, and I have to say no.
It is so good.
It's not.
It has crazy airtime.
It does. It has like.
It does.
It has like non-existent crazy airtime. It's crazy. It's non-existent. It's like what the fuck. All right, well, you're getting blocked from the chat now. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what?
Sophie said, I'm so embarrassed to say I've never done that. All right, you're getting banned then. No, it's... There's plenty of parks we haven't been to. I still need to get to Great America, Six Flags Great America.
I mean, when you're riding Jersey Devil Coaster, you're right by Nitro. Why wouldn't you ride it? How? All right, Mike.
The Helix is great. Yeah, I agree. That's exactly how I feel.
How? I don't understand how people cannot feel airtime. Like, I am constantly out of my seat on that ride. I don't understand it.
I think it's self.
I don't get it.
I think it might be self-produced airtime, Bob.
It's not, I assure you.
Might be trying to skew the numbers there and throw yourself out of the seat. We ride together, and Bob's like over there getting air, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? How are you getting airtime? And then he's like, how are you not? He's like, we're like arguing on Nitro about how.
Like every hill, I'm out of my seat.
Those camelbacks are the definition of non-airtime moments. They just do not provide any airtime. It's like it's crazy.
I don't get. I
like
don't get it.
Perfectly perfected the curvature of these hills, just not like it's like you go over the hill, but it's like you're gradual enough that it like never actually sends you out. I'm like,
my sister actually got bruises from Nitro on her legs.
That doesn't. I don't know if that necessarily proves there's airtime. Could have been the restraints were just like really far down on her.
No, it was. Oh my god.
Bob, do you think what? How is it like so? It's like you're acting like it's a scientific fact that has airtime, and when we say we don't get airtime.
But that's the thing. It's like I don't. I think that's why this bugs me so much. Is because this should be a physics thing, and I don't understand how the are different for you and me. I don't understand it.
I'm telling you, we need to take an accelerometer on there and actually measure.
I will agree. It may not be the best first drop. I'm okay with stating that.
The drop's awful. It's probably the worst. What do you think is worse? I don't think of I can't think of one that's actually worse. Maybe Intimidator at Carowinds. That one kind of sucks as well. Oh, he's gonna say Diamondbacked. I know, it's actually never mind. I remember he does not like Diamondback. Yeah, I got it. Look at that. I got it. Diamondback is a good drop. I don't know what you're smoking crack on that one. Diamondback's a good ride. I know you don't like it, but he doesn't like Diamondback either. Diamondback rattles, but it's a fine ride. It's a rattle machine. It's a rattlesnake, but yeah, Intimidator.
The only time I felt a rattle on Diamondback was when I was.
I think other than the first drop. The first drop on Intimidator is not that good. It does have some okay airtime moments throughout the ride, though.
I like I-232 a lot. I like um the second hill where it does the turn and
Yeah,
kind of like knocks you sideways, which is like it's a
it's very unique.
yeah. I really like that. Diamondback is definitely better than Orion.
No, it's not. That's terrible. Terrible. I don't think Mike likes either of them though. Mike just doesn't like Kings Island. Actually, I remember this. I think you might be the only person in the history of the world that does not like Kings Island. At least likes it, doesn't love it, but never met somebody that actively despises and resents a park like you do Kings Island. I agree. It does vibrate quite a bit and it rattles quite a bit, but
I've only noticed it the last time I rode it, and that was a Zen ride. And I don't know
it's
if that's the
always I don't
reason
know.
why.
It's always been bad for me, but I don't mind it. That's it. I don't think rattles really affect rides that much. Even like the Gerslauers, a lot of people talk about like Mystery Mine. I don't think that's a bad. I haven't ridden it yet with the new layout, but I'm assuming it's better probably now. Weekly poll. Hey, we should just say rank the B&M hypers. We'll just stay on the B&M hyper train.
Sure, whatever.
God damn, I can never be. It's always such like anguish. Whatever. Are you ready then?
Mystic's great.
Well, this is for next week, Mike. I mean, you can do it here if you want, but all right, yep, you're gonna do it. I didn't read anything about this game park. Hold on, let me read a little bit about this. I haven't read anything about it.
Not a whole lot.
They're just theming a park after.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't like it's short. It's a fairly short article. You can probably read it quickly.
So it's gonna be called Studios Octane.
What?
So it's gonna be called Studios Octane. Assonanti. All right, never mind. I can't read French apparently, so. Studios Octane.
Oh my god, I found a video of Dizzy Lizzie's. This excites me a lot.
That I was working with the company to design a large. All right.
Oh, the lighting's not the same in this video though.
You ready? Somewhat.
What?
You almost ready?
Am I ready? I'm ready. You are.
All right. I'm pretty much ready then.
I love how we're all having like individual conversations right now.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like I'm like you're talking about. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. What hypers?
I'm talking about hyper. I haven't said anything in the chat.
Oh, I thought you. Well, okay, whatever. I don't know. I'm talking about haunted swings somehow all of a sudden.
I'm talking about starting the show. Alberta Bell. Jill just got back, guys. So we could have Jill on the show now. I hear her coming in.
All right. So you have. So we're just gonna do rank,
Is that
not like favorite.
no? We can, rank would provide favorite, and then also others.
Okay. All right. Whatever. Whatevs.
Oh my god, you're killing me. Oh my god, how could they insinuate that? Look, in the article down here it says the announcement, however, of a multi-billion-dollar Hollywood park complex feels rather anachronistic amid the current low point in U.S.-China relations. Remember when I got shat on for saying that about there being a... Never mind. I'm not going to argue about it right now. Because it's just going to be a whole argument. It's alright. I recall saying something very similar about another park in another country, but... shit! I just closed the link.
The pre-show? I don't know if you want to call it a pre-show. I guess.
Pre-show.
We don't really know what we were talking. We all kind of were talking about something different the last 15 minutes. I was like we were all in different zones.
Yes, Stephanie. I said it in regard to that.
Bollywood.
That's what I said in regard to that park. It's yeah, but again, I'm not gonna get in an argument.
Who would copy Dollywood? Call it Bollywood. You just now caught up, Mike? That was like so many hours. Oh, cool. Did you see what Ethan just said in our chat? He said he recalls hearing that some movie theaters are actually considering going LED panel instead of projection.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah. I thought you were talking about in our YouTube chat. I was like, what?
No. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
I remember the first time that I saw digital projection in a theater. It was actually when I worked at Disney. Because a bunch of us went to downtown Disney to see Toy Story 2. And it was the first film ever in the United States to be recorded digitally and then shown digitally. And it was only like shown in like 8 locations in the whole nation. Disney, of course, was one of them. But like I remember going in that theater just being like, whoa, this is craziness. Now that's all you see.
All right, are you ready to do just the first half real quick? I mean, it's gonna be a short first half.
Yeah. Let me clean up. Actually, let me just start a new window. I got way too many tabs in this one to clean up. All right, let's start Audacity. I was really good friends with Buzz Lightyear. That's what we had to say. I was also really good friends with a few other characters as well.
So you are Woody?
No. I was too short to be friends with Woody.
Really? What's the height requirement to be friends with him?
Actually really tall. Like 6 feet.
So I could be Woody.
You could be friends with Woody.
Oh, yes, sorry. I forgot, yeah. No, they're coming for me now. All right. Let's get to action here.
All right. I did only once in training though, because I worked at it was MGM Studios at the time. I worked there in Epcot, but during training, I actually had some training at the Magic Kingdom. It's crazy down there. It's unlike anything you imagine.
Under the tunnels?
Yeah, the tunnels under Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Why is it crazy?
Like all these pathways, like in normal, like there's like cars down there, bicycles, like electric vehicles, walking, bicycles, like all on the same pathway. Or like vehicles with exhaust, but you don't smell the exhaust because of like the um ventilation they had. But like in all these pathways, like it's like a tunnel. You picture like a tunnel going through a mountain, like on the turnpike or something. It's kind of like that, but yet it's almost like storefronts along the side. And there's like different facilities. There's shops down there for the employees and like services for the employees and like just all kinds of stuff.
Gotcha.
Computer labs, libraries, laundry, like just everything. All right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2.
Welcome back, everyone. Oh my God. Welcome back.
Thought you were ready.
I was. Actually, I was. I thought something was happening, but it wasn't actually happening. So that was my bad. False alarm. I thought it wasn't recording my audio, but then I looked and it was. So. All right.
3, 2.
It is that time of week again. And now it's not recording my audio. That's amazing. That is amazing. What the hell? All right, I'm testing it. Hello.
Ah! Whoa! Okay. Don't hit the delete key twice. Audacity yells at you. Says you can't delete nothing. Well, I mean, didn't say this words, but that's essentially what it's telling me.
All right, you ready?
3, 2.
It is that time of week again, everybody. Welcome back to Coaster Talk Podcast. This episode 147 of the show. It is November 21st, 2021. I am James.
And I am Bob.
Welcome back, everyone. This week, a lot going on, and we're not going to cover in the first half what many of you probably think is the biggest news of the week. That's because it's coming up in the second half, so don't worry about that. We will be talking about IAPA.
What do we... IAPA? What's that?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I think I heard something about a tiny little thing going on down in Florida.
Orlando. It's called the Velocity-Stumble, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Velocity-Stumble.
Yeah. I don't know what IAPA is, though.
Correction,
sorry. We'll be talking about Velocity-Stumble in the second half of the show, so don't worry about that news.
IAPA must have been that thing that complimented Velocity-Stumble.
Yeah, I think that was like their after party or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus put together a little thing called IAPA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. All right. Well, before we get to that in the second half, we're going to be talking about first pretty sad incident that occurred at Silver Dollar City. Thankfully, no one was hurt in this incident, but 3 buildings caught fire at Silver Dollar City, Branson, Missouri.
Yeah, this was not a small incident.
No.
And it's kind of weird. I really don't remember. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but I don't remember of a time when a park has been evacuated because of a fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't recall.
I mean, usually, like, you'd end up evacuating an area or
section
something like
of,
that. I don't recall any time that, it's actually, like, they have actually evacuated an entire park because of a fire.
It might have been Europa Park. I mean, that remember when that happened? Like, was it last year or the year before? Maybe even prior to that. But I think we talked about it on the show. But there was a huge fire there. I think that might have caused, because that was like an entire facility and like engulfed in flames, and I think they might have evacuated. That might be the last time I've heard of it. So it's been about 2 or 3 years.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, other than I mean,
Why choose
in
proven
talking about
quality?
state, the states here. I can't recall a time where this has happened. I know we just had one at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, but that was very small in
Yeah,
comparison.
yeah. No real evacuation.
No, not even in the
But
area.
let's get right to the important news of this. Get this out of the way. As Airtime Mike reported in the chat, the Cinnamon Bread building is good, so don't worry about that.
We're all
And
clear.
also, the sharks live in water, so they're fine. There's nothing to worry about. Sharks are fine.
Yeah, we're good. I think we'll see Bruce and his gang there. Tomorrow, they say in the article they plan on reopening on Friday. So today is Thursday.
Yeah,
they do reopen
it's interesting.
Friday.
So, I really like this. Sometimes journalists just don't really nail the whole being precise thing. I forget which outlet was reporting it, but they were saying, "Oh, it's going to be closed through Thursday." Well, it is Thursday, so it was like, so they're closed. They're going to be closed for a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they meant they're going to be closed the rest of Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, not that that's a big difference.
You got to get your wording down. You do, because that was definitely inadequate word choice there. But
So it seems what happened. This started. I'm actually not sure where it started. I did listen to the fire radio archives, and whenever fire dispatch reported it, they had said it was the main building that was fully involved was they said the pork rind place, which I'm assuming from what I gather is like it's not actually called that. It's like the fried whatever.
Flossie's Fried Fancies.
That's it. That's the one. But then it was spread at that time. It was spreading from that building into the wood carving shop.
Yes.
But the other building that was somehow affected was the Heartland Home Furnishings, which I think in reading stuff that's come out since then, it seems like that might be where it started. But there's no report of what caused this yet. It was also discovered before the park actually opened, but there were guests in the front of the park because they were open for early entry. But the area where the fire was had not opened to the public yet, thankfully, so nobody was around it.
Mm-hmm.
Which thankfully also made the evacuation easier. But it was a 3-alarm fire. It was a big one. There's a couple there's some videos and some pictures on Twitter that really show the scale of it. There's one of these buildings is completely. Well, it was about 10 minutes into the incident on the fire radio when they reported an entire structure collapse.
Mm-hmm.
So, at least one of these buildings is definitely completely gone. And in some of the pictures you see on Twitter, it's clear.
Yeah, I mean, just based off of a few videos I've skimmed, it's visible for miles and miles away. I mean, these people are towards the front of the park.
Yeah.
You can see it way back there.
No, they were reporting. You could see the black smoke from miles away from the park. There's actually even some pictures I saw from like nearby Walgreens that you could tell was like at least a few miles from the park. You could just see the plume of smoke coming up. So this was not tiny.
Yeah, it definitely not small, and neither is the development of a potential like brand new. I mean, we haven't really seen other than Nintendo World, I guess you could say. But other than that, we haven't really seen a video game theme park, an entire theme park, not just a land. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to call Super Nintendo World its own little park, but um, Ubisoft Entertainment, which is a gaming development company, has announced that they plan to open a full theme park, resort style theme park, debuting in possibly 2025.
Yeah, this is kind of frightening. This is not an industry that, well, this industry has some problems. Let's put it that way. But the fact that this article's tagline or like subheadline says that they are well, what's it? The center will feature gamification technology. That's that sounds fun, but also sounds like something that maybe we don't want. Um, like what are they gaming? Like, do you have to like visit the park 3 times so that you can go ride the new roller coaster? Is that the gamification? Like, I don't know. I don't know. There's I don't know what that means, and I don't know. For me, it just doesn't sound good.
uh,
Maybe it's not meaning anything, but I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
Just
coming. I'm
like
coming from the angle of somebody who's played a lot of the games of this company, Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, Watch Dogs. So I mean, for me, it sounds pretty interesting, and I would like to see the IPs
oh,
implemented into this
certainly,
park.
yeah. The IP thing is different than you know how the company operates. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure. I'm just coming at it from that
a
angle
lot of these
solely,
companies
though.
have been caught in a lot of scandals that, well, they're kind of serious. Um, So I don't know. That's the thing. This is probably one of the industries where people don't get treated very well at all. And just thinking of how this industry operates, if that carries over into an entertainment center and then eventually a theme park, I don't know how that. I don't know. I
Yeah, it's
I,
all
I
it's all based
question
on
how.
intent, I guess, and intention here.
Yeah, it's not the IP. I mean, I'm not really a gamer, so like I could care less. But like I completely get the whole IP thing. It's just the management style that I question, and I wonder how that's gonna, how that's
Translate.
gonna,
Yeah,
yeah, translate across. And
sure.
you know, I don't know. It'll be interesting, but
Hmm.
yeah. So the entertainment studio or center is going. Is it? Wait, where is it actually going? France?
It's
Is it?
France.
No,
Yes, it's in.
France.
Yeah, it's in like Medrinity. I can't actually. I don't actually. I can't speak French. As many of you probably are well aware.
You can't.
But yeah. But it's going to be called Studios
Montpellier. It's outside of
Octini.
Paris.
Yeah, it's a 40-minute drive
Okay.
from the city. Yeah, it's in Montpellier, and
Yeah.
yeah,
So that'll be 2025 for the entertainment center, but nothing really is known about the theme park yet. They're just working on it. The interesting thing is, this is the one thing that sparks my attention is that they're working with Storyland Studios. Um,
yeah,
so that's promising, but then they say they're working with Alter Faces gamification technology.
which Alterface
Do
is who
you?
brought us the Justice League rides from the Six Flags parks. So
Oh, so when they say gamification, they're talking about like shooter, like Solid Dark rides, like
I
that type
think
of
that's
thing.
mainly what they're talking about. Yes, I mean there's
Okay,
probably going
so
to be
that's
some
not.
other type of innovation as well. That's why I was a little bedazzled by what you were saying, but yeah, I
Well,
think
I
they're
mean, like
talking more based on just
gamification is like there's. I mean, you can look at that in a bunch of ways, but I'm like thinking, oh, like you got to buy loot boxes and stuff. Like,
no,
um,
yeah, I was thinking more like the implication, the application of like kind of like a video game and just like the
like
style
a
of a ride.
ride that you get. See, so then, see, that's different than. I mean, gamifying a ride is different than gamifying a park.
Sure, I agree. Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily. I don't think it's going to be like a whole different experience in that regard. Like, I think it's going to be along the lines of what we see at Super Nintendo World, where you're going and you're interacting with the rides and the characters
Yeah,
and whatnot. But it's not going to
certainly
be.
that would be good. It still concerns me about the management style. That's still my biggest concern. Hopefully they'll like get another team to come in and do all that stuff, but
Yeah, hopefully
uh, we'll see.
they do their research and get a good team. Hopefully, I don't know if it'll be from the actual gaming company, the people that are actually directly managing. Hopefully, they source a good team. Um, and yeah, that's about it for that story, though. Another actual development for so two potentially new parks, not sadly not in the U.S. here, but new parks are new parks, and that's good to hear. This one coming out of the Paramount company, so we're seeing Paramount again. So we talked about Paramount, I think, a year or two ago with the London Resort because it was previously supposed to have been a Paramount park, and then it flipped and it's not anymore. And there's an interesting development there. But now in China, we're looking at a new Paramount Resort, which will span 643 total acres, possibly. It's going to be a part of an entire development, which is a much larger development, about 2,000 acres. But this park in general, the resort itself, will be about 643 acres, which makes it the third largest resort in China, which is great. It's behind Shanghai Disney and Universal. So China's getting all the great stuff again.
Yeah, this is interesting though because this is so back when Paramount owned the what we still refer to as the Paramount Parks that Cedar Fair bought in
Yeah, acquired,
2006. Paramount was directly involved in that. They bought those parks. I think all of those parks
Yes.
came from King's Entertainment Company. I may be wrong, maybe not all of them, but no, because actually
No,
Marriott
I think
had
yeah. I don't think it's
Great America. Yeah, because Kaga and Six Flags Great America were actually sister parks under Marriott, I believe. So, but anyway, the Paramount parks,
point is yeah.
those were a lot of those were bought from King's Entertainment Company, but Paramount was very heavily involved in that. In this case, they're kind of doing more of a licensing.
No, I think
They're
the
not really putting their own money on
point
the
is
line. They're just letting somebody else license their name, kind of like what Six Flags is doing with Kidia. Like that's not Six Flags isn't fully involved in that. They're just licensing the name for the most part. So, yeah, I don't know that there's any correlate. There's some people want to draw the comparisons between what Paramount was, what it is, why they get rid of the parks if they want to get back into it, but it doesn't look like they're really truly getting back into it. It looks like they're more or less just licensing their IP and their name.
yeah. I don't know if this is necessarily their interest. Like this isn't them actually actively involved in the process. But again, it is going to be a Paramount park, so we'll get to see the return
Yeah.
of some of those IPs from the good days of the King's Parks and the others under the King's Entertainment Company and, as you said, Marriott. Um,
If Volcano the Blast Coaster shows up in China, I'm gonna be pissed. That's
oh
all I'm
no!
saying.
Oh no! We could be looking at that, Bob. Oh, you'd have to fly over there. That'd be Bob's next trip.
I don't know. I don't even think that could get me to China.
Really? What if it was the same ride? Like it wasn't a new technology. It was the same ride. They somehow salvaged King's Dominion's volcano.
I don't. I mean, well, first of all, I probably wouldn't be able to afford it anyway, but if we were gonna say that I could afford,
You
if
saved
I
up.
had the money and could do it, I don't know. That would be a really really tough call for me. It really would. I probably would still opt to go to if I had the money. I'd probably still opt to go to Japan and ride like all the cool stuff there.
Interesting.
Because I know they really concern themselves with safety there.
Mm-hmm.
China. I don't...
Sometimes you gotta take the risk.
Well, yeah, but
Gotta take that chance and have some fun. You only live once. Well, that does it for this half of the show here. We know it's been rather short, but that's obviously because we have quite a bit of other coverage to talk about in the second half of the show. As we said, Velocistumble, we're going to give you guys a recap from that. We're going to talk about our weekly poll. That's all coming up right after the second half. Right after this break. What am I talking about? After the second half. We're going to right after this break. There we go. After we finish the second half, we're going to go back and talk about IAPA.
Oh, by the way, last week's show I actually spot checked it, and after the break it was slightly out of sync. I don't know if you knew about that. It wasn't bad. There were only a few moments where it was like really noticeable.
Okay.
But for the most part, I'm just mentioning it.
Mm-hmm. Trying to call me out in front of everybody.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that before. That was not my intent.
It's okay.
I was halfway through and I was like, oh yeah, we're live. I probably should have mentioned that later. All right. Anybody in the chat have any favorite stories from IAPA? I think we have them. I think we have the main ones from we have the main ones, but if there's a favorite that you have, we'll make sure we have it.
Boom, boom, boom. Sing my song. Got to ramble on.
GCI Infinity? What is this?
What do you mean, what is this? Did you not see that? That was just like... They've already talked about that.
Wait, what is it?
It's like those new trains that they announced like a long time ago, but...
Oh, that's not IAPA then.
They announced it at IAPA. But it was like 3 years ago, and I think they just had the train again. Or...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard. Are you down there, Steph? Or did you just see pictures like we have?
If Steph's down there, we could have her on. Give us some coverage.
Yeah. Ugh. So it's Infinity Flyer trains. It's not a coaster. That's what threw me. When he said Infinity Coaster, I was like, wait, GCI copied Gerstlauer? What happened?
No. I mean, they have the potential to do inversions and all that. I mean, which I think that's more probably along the lines of what he's saying. He wants to see something like that. Here's the fire at Europa Park. I found it. Actually, yeah, never mind. You probably don't need to see that. It's just a big fire.
All right, so you're just an onlooker like we are, sitting up here in the north, going, look at all the fun they're having down there.
In the north.
Yep. Well, I mean, we're all in the north.
I know.
Compared to Florida.
That's what I was saying. There's like pretty much.
That's my whole point. Did Gravity Group announce anything? I don't think they did they?
No.
They're down there saying, hey guys, our wood coasters are still wood. Which is, I mean, that's enough for me.
Welcome. I got one satisfied customer.
I guess I'm not really a customer, but...
Yeah, no, consumer.
Ooh, what's this? Oh, I don't want... Oh, I hate stock people.
Do you want to know the poll results, or you want to wait until I have a live reaction?
It's up to you.
All right, I'll let you hear it live. We'll do it live.
Oh, look. North America's first fully electric fire truck. Oh, like, how does this pop up when I'm searching for Gravity Group? Like, if there's ever been an argument against the Google filter bubble, this is it. Hopefully DuckDuckGo catches up on their news search. That's like the only thing I use Google for anymore is news search.
Google's cool.
No, it's not. DuckDuckGo is cool.
Would you say they're too cool for school?
I mean, ducks don't go to school, so.
But they DuckDuckGo go to school.
What? You're losing me.
I don't know, Bob. You're losing me. Why are you talking about electric fire trucks?
Because Google just threw me into the filter bubble hole. I was searching for Gravity Group and like Gravity Group news stories, and it's like, here's what you want to know. Here's the story about a fully electric fire truck. Like, clearly somebody knows that I was on Broadcastified today. I mean, that's exactly, I know that's exactly what happened.
I don't disagree. Why are you scolding me for that?
Huh? I'm not scolding you. It just irritates me that it's like people want to argue about how the filter bubble helps people, but like it clearly did not help me. See what it did? It got you and me into a fight for no reason at all. And this is exactly why our name. This right here is a prime example.
Okay, what you just said. You cut out right when you said whatever you said.
I said this right here has been a prime example of why our nation is so divided.
Oh, yeah. It's just about electric trucks.
All right. Let's go talk about something other than electric fire trucks. Would it be easier to record our segments in 2 different WAV files?
No.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yep. 3, 2.
And we're back, everybody. Time to talk Velocistumble.
Except we didn't go to Velocistumble, so we have actually.
Yeah, I don't actually know what happened. We could follow along in the chat somewhat, but that only does so much.
I can tell you this: I regret that I was not able to go to Velocistumble.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did see some videos and stuff from Velocistumble, and oh my god, they had a blast down there.
Yeah, and then following that and succeeding that, something called IAPA took place, and I think that's what we're going to talk about actually.
Yeah.
First off, some great news for everyone. I know for Bob in particular, but for everybody.
Wait, we haven't explained that it is the International Association of. That's what we're talking about. Not everybody knows what IAPA is.
Okay.
And for those that aren't familiar, a block section.
0.1% of you that didn't know what that was. Like my mom listening to this, maybe. Yeah, that's what it is. Great news out of IAPA. The first story we're talking about here is
the most important in my eyes. This excites me the most of every other story.
I mean, hell, we made a shirt about this, so maybe someone was listening. Chance Rides has announced, not in partnership with this park, that they're going to be the Hot Wheel coaster that we heard about in Arizona is going to be a Chance Hyper GTX.
Indeed. First of all, I never thought I'd be going to Arizona ever. But now there's a chance. There's a chance.
There's a chance. You're going to take a chance on chance.
There's a chance I might go to Arizona now. Solely because of one roller coaster.
Yes, and it looks actually like this might be a launched Hyper GTX on top of it. So.
Yeah, that's what some of the rumors are.
You can kind of see it in the photo, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, this is Glendale, Arizona. It's a Mattel themed amusement park.
Many of you don't know who that is. That's where the Arizona Cardinals play. Fact.
Okay. I assume that's some kind of sports thing.
That's a football thing.
Yeah. So anyway, so for those that aren't aware of this or need a refresher, in the show notes we have a link to the original story from back in June that talked about this. But it talked about the Hot Wheels roller coaster, which looked. I mean, that's a really cool concept. I mean, just in itself, like a Hot Wheels roller coaster, like the world has been ready for that for a while. I think. I just feel like the world should have had that a long time ago. But at IAPA, and it's this is kind of weird because there's not really a whole lot of coverage on this. But there is a photo from. You'll see there's a Twitter link in our show notes. that shows the picture of I assume that's the Chance Rides booth.
It is, yes.
Speaking of fire trucks, there's a fire truck going across. There's a fire truck going. Did you hear that?
I hear it. Yeah. I don't think many people understand that because that was before we started recording.
That was before. We just had a big argument about electric fire trucks, and it was the weirdest conversation that ever happened in between the show.
And you guys are probably like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But...
So if you want to hear a very strange conversation take place, go back and look at our live stream.
Yeah.
But I could not resist the fact that fire truck distracted me, and anyway. That one was not a fully electric one, I assure you.
I don't think so.
And anyway, picking back up on it, at IAPA, there's a booth which I assume to be either
it is the Chance Rides booth, yeah.
The Chance Rides booth, and there's a poster there clearly showing the Hot Wheels coaster is a Chance Rides coaster, and this is great. I like Chance really seriously. I mean, they make amazing rides in general, and anybody that has ridden Lightning Run knows
yeah, for sure. And I mean, especially the GTXs are amazing, and especially with this launch, we could be looking we could be looking at a very, very great ride here.
Yeah, and here's the thing for me too. It's not even that. Even if I don't actually ever get to Arizona to ride this, I'm just happy to see.
You're content knowing that, yeah.
Yeah, just that somebody's buying these, and hopefully this helps build more hype, which will actually get more parks saying, "Oh, maybe we should take a chance on Chance."
Exactly. Maybe this is the step in our marketing campaign. Maybe they'll reach out to us and be like, "Hey, we like your shirts." Yeah, hopefully this kindles some sort of relationship with Chance, and especially with these rides and the amusement industry, because it doesn't seem Kentucky Kingdom was successful and show. I mean, I don't understand how, because the ride's reliable, it's amazing, it's the biggest ride there other than maybe Storm Chaser in terms of ridership and popularity. I don't understand how that didn't really precipitate some sort of like, oh wow, we should consider a Chance Hyper GTX, but hopefully maybe there's being another one will stir that.
This is one of the biggest problems that happens is if you look at Lightning Run, what do you market? How do you market Lightning Run in the eyes of a marketer, somebody that's in charge of marketing? Like, how do you market that ride?
As Kentucky Kingdom or as Chance?
No, as Kentucky Kingdom. You just added this ride to your park. Like, how do you, you can't say it's the tallest. You can't say it's the fastest. You can't say, like, there's no hard facts to state. And
well, there's no like bullet points, record breaking. Right. Yeah, see, but it's
but see, this is the problem with amusement parks in general. Kentucky Kingdom at the time was an independent park, and they realize how important a coaster is aside from the marketing. Like, a coaster that isn't extremely marketable is one of those coasters that can be a slow burn. It doesn't really drastically increase your attendance the next year. It keeps your attendance from waning. It has people make sure they come back the next year, but it doesn't draw people in until that word of mouth built. But the thing is that sustains the love of that coaster over a much longer period of time. But the major parks don't think like that. They think, well, there's nothing we can market this. There's nothing we can use to draw people in the gates from this. And I think that's why...
I mean, would we really be seeing Toombuli at King's Dominion if that was the case? Or, I mean, there's so many non-record-breaking attractions that we still see.
But even Toombuli is, for the area, is a very different type of coaster.
Yeah, I mean, but so would a Hyper GTX for pretty much every other part of the country.
No, to a person that doesn't really understand coasters, that doesn't mean much. But my whole point is, those are the best kind of coasters. Those are the coasters that people will have, like people ride over and over again and say, love it. And how it becomes such a huge part of your park. That's probably why those Chance rides are so much better, is because they focus more on making a damn fun ride than they do making a ride that we can market as something that like
Incorporating those records into the rides.
yeah, and that's the thing is like I hope that we start seeing more and more of these small parks get involved in buying these coasters, and all of a sudden like maybe change the tide a little bit. And we're kind of hitting that point where we're seeing chain parks kind of tap out of the spending money thing. Maybe this is the time. Maybe this is a good time for this to happen, where they go, look, a lot of people really enjoy that coaster, and it didn't cost them. It cost them hardly anything, and like, hopefully, that's just my hope. That's my hope. I hope that we're in that point where,
and I hope that
even
you hope
the big
that
parks are
your
like,
hope comes to hope. Ace.
Now we'll go
changing
to,
the scenes here. Yeah. You might want to turn that
being very excited to
get that Sour Patch going.
Sour Patch is now red.
All right, Ace has announced a $150,000 donation to the Roller Coaster Museum and Archives. Which is obviously the nonprofit museum that's in Texas that has yet to really open up to the public.
Yeah. This is starting to bug me. I know a while ago, years ago, I was actually pretty positive about this museum, but I'm starting to really, really sour on this. And seeing Ace, well, I mean, this last year, let's face it, Ace tries to promote themselves as an organization that preserves coasters, and they do everything possible to preserve coasters. And then we saw them sit by when everything happened at Conneaut Lake, only to have them make one of the most absurd statements ever and follow that up with absolutely nothing.
And it was so like
and
last
then,
minute.
Then they turn around and they donate $150,000 to the museum that still has yet to open to the public.
And if you think about it, this way, Bob,
I don't even know how many years.
If you think about it, they're supposed to be preserving they're supposed to be trying to preserve operating attractions. Like, it's great that that they're donating to a organization.
Right now they're preserving the ones that are already dead.
already closed and extent. Yeah, So it's a little bit of a double entendre when you think.
Like an Egyptian display at a museum. Like, they're already dead, but here they are. They're mummified. Like, and don't get me wrong. I like the concept. I like the fact that there's going to be a place that I can actually go still see a volcano car. These things that were actually a big part of my life. Like, I like that there's a place that I could go see that, except that I can't go see it. That's the whole problem. They keep saying they're going to open this museum to visitors. Years ago, they were saying how we have the visitor center built, and we're so close to opening this place to the visitors, and then all of a sudden that disappeared, and then the next thing on Twitter they're talking about this brand new warehouse they built.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yep.
And then in this video they're talking about how they could take this $150,000 and use that to start building exhibits, except that on Twitter they've been showing us for the last I don't know how many years all of these really cool exhibits that they've been building that nobody can go see. I don't understand the point of this. You have to open to the public. Holy crap! Like, why is this such a?
That is the basic function of a museum. I mean,
and that's what starts bugging me about this Ace thing. Is like, I've donated to the preservation fund at Ace because I want them to start I want them to actually do stuff and help assist parks like Conneaut Lake when they're in need, and help preserve the Blue Streak. Not to write the stupidest statement on the face of the earth, put no monetary value towards that at all, and then turn around and give it to these people in Texas that are really just storing toys for all of the national like leaders to go play with or something. I don't know. It just I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me. That's not where I want my money. If when I'm donating to Ace, that's not where if I wanted to donate to the roller coaster museum, I could have donated to the roller coaster museum.
Yeah.
I donated to Ace for them to do something completely different.
It feels kind of like an old boy network. Like, oh, we're gonna, like you said, storing these really cool and important relics of our amusement industry past, but it seems very. You got to be it's very seclusive for who gets to go.
Yeah.
and
you have to be there.
It's supposed to be a public
like,
viewing. You're supposed to have exhibits for public viewing, and you got to get there. And they have to get there.
They share pictures on Twitter.
Yeah, they do.
And for the love of God, like the sponsorship that they did for the golden tickets. Holy shit, people! Do you know the money that you used on that? Like, you could have opened to the public. Put that money into your visitor center, for Christ's sake. Like, seriously, people. It's bullshit.
Yep. Very much.
I've been this mad since Todd Joseph.
Yeah.
I hate to hate Ace, but like it's getting way too easy. They're frustrating me. And this isn't like just me hating on Ace. This is me like saying, look, Ace, I want to care about you. Help me care about you. Do something that is respectable. I don't see, like, if you're gonna, I get it. You want to have this. You want to have this open. You want to put this money forward. Then you put a rider on this. You give them $150,000 and say, hey, this is $150,000. You better open your visitor center within the next 6 months or the next year or whatever. You better have this documented that this is actually going to go to the good of people, not so that it's going to continue to have all this stuff saved, where just a few Ace members actually get the opportunity to go visit this museum.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk in the video about how, hopefully you as an Ace member have had the opportunity, like, because we're all in Texas. I mean, like, this is the kind of thing that it's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to be going to Texas for another reason. I'd really like to stop. Oh, what you mean? You mean you're not taking your trip to Texas on that one day out of 365 that we're gonna open for you? Well, I mean, that's not our fault that you didn't decide to travel.
To drop everything and come down.
Like, yeah, like,
yeah.
Open this place. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's make this function with what you want it to be. Quit being the joke that everybody does. Stop trying to defend yourself. Why you're not open, just do it. Just do it. It's been how many years you've been saying this?
Yep.
And if you're not, quit saying you're almost ready to open, because apparently you're not.
Yeah. You just keep lagging behind. I mean, it's incredible. I agree.
How
long has it been now? I mean, it's been what? Like,
it's years, many years. I really don't know. I know that it's been, well, I remember seeing about the visitor center before COVID hit.
Oh yeah, that was.
I mean, that was years before that, like.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, they were in existence for an extremely long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I don't know if the exact finite value, but it's been handful of years, and yeah, they've prolonged this idea of opening for much too long.
Way. If you go to their website, there's a blog post from 2001.
Yeah, I didn't know. I saw that, but I didn't know if that was when they officially were like the roller coaster museum. I didn't know what they were back then. Like,
yeah, I can't.
What entity they were? If they were the museum, or if that's when like that idea sparked, or what? But Yeah, they've definitely prolonged this notion of, oh, we're opening. It's just another year, another 6 months, or
So
whatever it may be.
the latest expansion included a 1,000 square foot climate controlled facility, which was completed in 2015. That's just the latest expansion.
This has been 7 years. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got it. At that point.
And then I believe that's most likely what they were saying was the visitor center that was soon to open.
And it looks like in 2018 they expanded in 20. Well, they had a blog post about expansion in 2019.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I feel like they did another. I think that's what happened. I think it's that 2015 was actually when they did the visitor center, because that was the whole climate controlled thing where it was like, oh, this would be the perfect place. Like we can actually like have people come because it's not uncomfortable and stuff. And that's where they were building the visitor center. But then all of a sudden that conversation stopped. And then they started talking about this brand new warehouse that they were building, which apparently they just couldn't be bothered to update their About Us page.
Yeah. Yeah, they gotta step up their game here. They gotta stay true to what they are, a museum. It's supposed to be for public viewing, public experience, public like taking in of the exhibits they have. I mean, because right now, what is it doing? It's just sitting there. I don't.
I mean, I will say this. I will give them this little bit. I'm glad that there's a place that this stuff can go.
Oh, no
because,
doubt.
Like,
no doubt. I
they're
mean, this
still
all would be
storing this
scrapyard. This
stuff.
would be scrapyard.
So like,
this would be a big scrapyard
yeah,
if it wasn't.
like
for that.
if they weren't taking stuff in, then that stuff would just be going in the scrapyard. So I'm glad that there's stuff still being preserved.
Yes.
So I don't want to completely say like, oh, they're serving absolutely no function at all.
Well, as I said earlier,
they're being ridiculous, is what they're being. They need. I mean, they're registered as a 501c3 non. Like they need to serve. They need to do what they're saying they're going to do. And that's the other thing. If you're not going to do that, stop saying you're going to do that. Quit with the false pretenses.
Yep.
Quit telling us how you're going to let us come visit if we never get to come visit. Like that's what this boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Ace. I don't care if Ace decides they just want to be a coaster club and just have events and stuff. I don't care. That's fine. But stop telling us that you're all about preservation. Stop trying to convince us that you're doing something totally different when you're not. I love the fact that you saved Leap the Dips back in the late 90s. I'm ecstatic. I'm so glad that coaster exists. What have you done recently? Sorry, this was not an intended rant. Like this was supposed to be about IAPA, but like this hat, like seriously.
All right, step down off the soapbox, and we will continue with IAPA coverage.
On to our regularly scheduled IAPA programming.
There you go. All right. RMC unveiled the trains for the new attraction going to Fun Spot, their new RMC roller coaster, Airy Force, Airy Force 1. And a lot of people are not too keen on the name. I'm pretty indifferent, Bobby. I know you're.
I kind of like it. Cracks me up, honestly.
I think you're liking it because other people aren't.
Well, I mean, there's an aspect to that. It's not. It's not so much that I'm liking it because other people aren't liking it. I'm actually. It's more that I'm liking it just because of it's unique and it's like they're kind of playing on words, and I kind of like that. It's just like a fun way to come.
Yeah,
that's the way I see
I'm
it.
indifferent. I don't think it's a bad name. I don't think it's a great name. But it's I think for Fun Spot, it's a great name because it is named after the previous owner, the father of the current owner. Like that's amazing. That's a great story. I don't know if it necessarily, from a marketing perspective, would be the greatest name because it's kind of a unique story you'd have to explain each time. Someone's like, "What is that necessarily? What is that?" So it's a little of an uncommon naming scheme to see like something so specific as like the previous owner of the park and their last name of the family. But again, I think for Fun Spot, it's a good name. But and all things considered, I don't think it's necessarily a great name. But the ride, let's talk about the ride because we saw the train, which looks great, but we also
Well,
got a full POV.
there is one more thing that I want to mention about the name, which I think
Okay.
is funny, and I don't think they're taking this into consideration. Is that Aerie is actually a women's clothing brand, which is kind of funny. It's like a trendy women's clothing
Yeah, but it's
brand,
not
and
spelled that way.
no, it's not. But when I heard it, like that was one of the things I thought about. I was like, oh,
Okay,
like
I thought you were
people are
saying
going to be
they were.
posting like pictures based on that, and I'm actually surprised that that hasn't come up. I
No.
mean, you would think though that they would. I don't know. I don't know. That's just like kind of a crazy combination.
Yeah. So we didn't just
It's
get the.
actually part of American Eagle is what it is. But
Okay.
it's like
Good to
they're
know.
yeah.
Good to know. If you guys wanted an apparel history, there you go. Fun Spot also unveiled not only the front train, but we got the full POV of the ride. So we've seen like clips and images of it, still images, but we actually get to see the full ride in action here with the new video they released to the public here at IAPA. And man, this ride is going to be nuts. Um, it's large, it's fast, it's tall. I think Airtime Mike in our chat actually earlier said it may be the best coaster in Georgia, and I don't think that is at all an understatement. I think this will be the best coaster in Georgia, and rightfully so. It's a beast of a ride, and it has some unique elements never before seen on RMC. We have the Raven Trust Dive, which is really unique because that is the only one of its kind. But then we also have an Immelman on a RMC, which, to my knowledge, I know they have the dive loop on Goliath at Six Flags Great America, but other than that, don't believe we've seen that being not the same inversion as an Immelman. It's just kind of the reversed Immelman, but we haven't seen anything other than that like this at all. So I've always wanted to see an Immelman on an RMC. I just thought that would be cool, and we finally got to see one. And you have like a zero G stall, a couple of those I think, and a zero G roll possibly. Yeah, so this ride is packed full of some great elements. And what does it clock in at? Over 3,000 feet long, 150 feet tall, 65 miles an hour, I believe. I was looking at the stats there.
It's a big coaster for a family
It
entertainment
is,
center.
exactly. And I think this is where it transcends to an amusement park. This is that step here, is what they're trying to do.
I kind of like the paint job too.
Yeah, interesting.
Like it's an interesting paint job that like each rail's a different
Yeah,
color.
the alternating color there. I don't know if we seen, has RMC done something of that nature before? I mean, obviously Twisted Colossus.
Joker.
Yes, Joker. I've ridden that. That's great. Yeah. Other than that, though, that was one of their first. So this is but I like this much better than Joker. Honestly, I like that red and blue. I think that is much more flattering.
I'm just glad to see RMC doing something different. Just seems like RMC is always the same, different orders. Like it's cool to see them doing a different element, something new.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but yeah, for sure. It's good to see them having a brand new innovation there with this Raven Trust dive, and I'm excited to see the Immelman still. I know that's many people I don't care about that, but I've always for some reason envisioned an RMC with an Immelman.
I actually think that looks really cool, and I think that will be a great that'll be a great element for an RMC.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a question for you: how long after Alan Schilke retires do you think it'll be before there's an RMC that has a vertical loop?
I don't know. That's a it's quite a difficult question because I don't know if that's what's something they want to do. It depends on whoever replaces said designer Alan Schilke, and I don't know. Do you have a theory?
I honestly I don't know,
I don't
but I
think we
do
might.
know that
I wouldn't be surprised if we never do.
I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that Alan is personally the one that's like he is the reason why we have not seen a vertical loop. And I feel like when somebody else starts designing them,
Joe
um,
Dreves.
that's actually a question. Has Draves done a vertical loop?
Oh, yeah. I don't believe so. But that's. I mean, the styles the varieties done don't need or don't require and don't really. I don't feel like they fit.
Yeah, I mean a lot of them have been like
Like family
smaller
rides,
family rides.
and then you have.
Still Curtain hasn't done it.
Mhm.
Max Force came closest, I think, but that's not actually
That's not a
vertical.
vertical loop. No, that's like a. That's a weird. I think that was like a unique element too, or what? Oh yeah, the max dive loop.
Yeah,
So
I mean
yeah, it's not.
it's definitely
It's close,
it's
but
definitely
no
unique, but it's
cigar.
probably I mean, in my mind, that's the closest he's probably come to a vertical. Now that I think about it, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. Now that I'm thinking about this a lot more than I expected to be, to be honest.
Um, yeah, I don't think he's gotten a vertical loop. And you think he has designed the ride with the most inversions in the United States, and that didn't include one.
Yeah,
So maybe, but
I
again,
don't know. There's
uh,
it's like it's kind of a weird thing because I get Alan's stance on it because Alan has said like he just doesn't feel like they're fun, and I understand where he's coming from because a lot of times they're not. But then I think about Schwarzkopf's and like Schwarzkopf's are their loops are really fun. Um,
yeah, and RMC is great at executing every element. I think very well. So why not add a vertical loop?
so and then that's the thing that becomes the thing. Like, when will somebody be like, "Aha, this is my challenge to actually create a good vertical loop on an
Schwarzkopf
RMT?"
vertical loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Again, it might be a personal vendetta just with Shilky, but could also be just a company wide stance. I don't know. But again, the company's changing hands. I mean, Shilky's stepping down soon. It seems. Fred Grubb we know is stepping down soon. Or
Yeah.
actually he's already retired, I believe. But I think he's still, obviously plays a major role in the company still. But soon he'll be retired and out of the picture. So maybe once that translation and that transformation of power kind of occurs, maybe then the company will shift its view on that and add that as an element. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just it's kind of an interesting thing. Like there's that I understand it, but then there's that part of me that's like it's weird. It just seems weird not to see one. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we don't know about the vertical loop. We do know that looks like a great ride, and we know that Six Flags has probably the strangest announcement from IAPA. They're actually going to be utilizing these autonomous public safety robots in their parks. They're going to act as
Yeah.
security personnel, kind of monitoring guests, making sure they're behaving in line, making sure they're behaving in the park, walking around.
This is kind of a frightening thing to me. Um, I mean,
I think it's frightening from both aspects too. Like I know you are coming from like a privacy um, aspect, which is perfectly great.
yeah.
That's definitely the more scary thing. But I feel like it's also kind of scary, just as a business move. Like it's an odd move. I mean, I don't think there's the same authority with a robot like this as there is a security officer.
Let's be honest. What I'm most looking forward to is going to Six Flags and seeing one of these like tipped over at the
Tipped
front of the
over,
park.
yeah, or vandalized. I mean, I saw people. Oh well, these are property of the park. Someone was talking. It's a felony to vandalize them, and I'm like, people vandalize so much that that's not going to that is not going to deter anybody from vandalizing these.
The problem though is like, can you get away with it?
I think with the masks now, maybe, maybe you
Well,
can.
no, because see, this is another thing that's frightening about this, is this company actually the company that produced these actually immediately started working on ways of identifying people while wearing their masks. Which the
Like
scary thing
iris
to me
scan, maybe.
is no, well, I don't think that's it. I mean, I actually, as much as I hate it, there's a data center that I go into that I have to do an iris scan. And it's not something you can just kind of do on the fly real
Yeah, I know
easily.
it's
Like,
not,
you have to
but
kind
I
of
was
look
thinking.
into it. But this is the thing. Facial recognition is, despite what you hear, it is a very flawed technology. There's a lot of false results that happen with facial recognition, and the less points of comparison you have, the less accurate it can be. And that's the thing, is when you're wearing a mask, okay, there's certain aspects that you can measure and kind of go from a, you know, facial recognition standpoint, but that's going to be like, the quality of that's going to be even less than a full face.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're already, I
Yeah,
mean, we shouldn't be rolling out this technology at all because it's not ready. I mean, it's scary just to begin with. But the other aspect of it
it's
is
not advanced
it's
enough.
not ready. It's not ready. And then this company is also like on top of that saying, "Oh, wait, you know what? This technology that we don't think is ready, we can do it with even half the information," and claim that it's accurate.
Just as efficient. Yeah.
Uh, so it's really scary. But this platform is that they're using is called Romeo. Well, that's actually the robot's name, and it is part of a platform called RAD-M. Um, there's a whole line of different devices, and this particular robot, I don't know if Six Flags is getting this, but it actually comes with a drone as a companion to it.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're doing something wrong, it like just like flies around you. I don't know. I don't know the point of that.
Deploys
But
the weapon
what it does
system and
do,
is.
yeah, it engages.
We need to neutralize this
Um,
target. Oh.
So it has license plate readers, and if it has license plate readers, it most likely has access to, DMV records. It has full facial recognition. It has tracking ability, and it has. They briefly talk about this in some of their videos, where it like basically uses certain movements and gestures to actually flag behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's another thing that just scares me about the whole false, like, like if I just move my hand in the wrong direction, I talk with my hands a lot. Like, what happens if I move it in the wrong direction, and like this platform just flags me as something or someone. But then it's connected. It's always connected back to, it always phones home. So all of these robots that exist everywhere in the world know who you are. If it flags you, well, that information can be shared with every other. So like, say you accidentally get flagged at Six Flags, and then you go to a shopping mall that has one, on the other side of the United States, and all of it sees you and it goes, ah. Well, now you have artificial intelligence that's falsely prejudiced against you and has no reason to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just a it's just a really scary platform. Um, but yeah, there's also that aspect of like, what if it runs over a toddler? And you might laugh at that, but that happened. You can look it up.
Yeah,
There's like, it's happened. These
It has.
robots have like, it just didn't catch them in their sensor and like just kept going. It didn't see them. I don't know.
There's as much as it is a double entendre here, because as much as it's saying in marketing public safety, it causes not only issues of safety but of security in terms of your privacy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just as much as a threat as it is possibly a help, a tool for safety. Yeah,
I mean,
so
I'm all for.
I don't know where we're going to see these rolling out. I don't know if this is going to be an every park thing or if this will be something that, you know,
I think I did read somewhere that it was one of the Texas parks specifically that it was bought for.
and it was just specifically that park, right? Just
But I don't know that for sure. I just had
my
heard
thought
somebody
was, are
mention
we
that,
seeing this
so-
at all
Yeah,
14
I
or whatever
don't know.
parks? Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing is see, we kind of like this is where we keep getting ourselves into trouble is we create these opportunities where we stand back and say, okay, I see your reasoning for wanting to do this. I mean, we did it with we lost it with the hey, this is where I get really, you know, when you walk into a Six Flags right now, scanners that they make it so much easier to get into the park, but there's all kinds of AI going on there, and you know, that's again, there's facial recognition happening. We're losing privacy when we walk into a Six Flags because of the security scanners that we're walking through. This is just taking it up a step, a step higher.
Mm-hmm.
But like the whole problem is we're like, well, we're in COVID, we can't really be touching things and stuff. So like, here's, and everybody kind of says, and I kind of get it because I understand. I kind of want to get past for it too. Is like, I get it. I know why you need this. So, okay, I guess. And then they add it, but the problem is we don't stop using that. We don't. One of the bigger problems is there's not really any kind of regulations that stop companies from, like, once Six Flags has this data, they can do whatever they want with that. There's no laws that protect you. There's nothing that says that, you can't have this artificial intelligence army that's prejudiced against you.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything. Like, if this artificial intelligence just finds this random variable that, like, people that wear blue T-shirts have a higher likelihood of doing whatever.
Yeah. It
flags that as a pattern, and that is a form of racism in a sense. I mean, please don't misquote that. I'm not calling that racism, but I'm saying that's how we get to this. We have. It's different thing. I mean, and that's the color of a T-shirt. I mean, what's to stop AI from being racist in itself? I mean, there's been studies with artificial intelligence where they've programmed bots. I think even Microsoft had one. Somebody was just telling me that, like, within a matter of months, it actually became racist. It was actually saying racist things that it learned completely from talking with other people. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. This scares me. All right, I guess that was another rant that I went on. That was kind of unexpected, but.
No, it's never expected with you, Bob.
Well, I guess that's true.
I'm always waiting for an impromptu rant just to occur. never can be too sure where it's gonna pop up.
It's a tough thing for me though, because I think it's cool technology. I like seeing how
it is
technology overcomes problems, but then at the same time, it's like, it's gonna get abused. It's gonna be a problem.
Mm-hmm. It's a step forward, at the same time it's 10 steps back.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is.
All right,
and
well,
one more thing that I thought was funny is they made it a point in one of the videos about this platform
mm-hmm.
that said you cannot outrun
Yes.
it goes 18
Yes.
miles an hour, which is ironic because apparently Elon Musk is building robots now, and he specifically doesn't want his robots to
It's
go
faster.
to be able to run
Yeah.
because he wants you to be able to run away from them because he actually recognizes where.
That is an issue.
Um, so that's the thing. If something goes wrong with this robot, you can't get away from it.
Yeah. I don't think people realize how close we are to the robot Armageddon.
It's scary.
Yeah. All right. Well, back on track. Sticking with IAPA still, but back on track to a little bit more of a exciting development out of the conference. The Zamperla, they announced a few things. They announced their new ride that we already kind of touched on when they really announced it. And,
I guess we got the pre-announcement.
yeah, I guess we got a. I don't know, but they announced that, but that really isn't again a new development. We talked about it on the show before. Really, what we are newly exposed to is the Zetta Swing, which is very similar to like the KMG booster rides. That's kind of like my.
It's a new. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Yeah,
It's very similar.
It's
That's
similar,
that's the
I
best
think
comparison I can make for anyone trying to visualize this.
I think you maybe
Um,
cross the KMG booster. I guess it's KMG speed.
mhm.
Cross that ride with a scream and swing, and make it go the whole way around.
And it's a pendulum
That's-
motion, like you're yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. It will take you up. Like it goes clear up to the top. Like the pendulum goes upside down, but you swing, so you're not actually being upside down.
Yeah, the actual arm does, but yeah. Hmm. But then the actual like
So in that
gondola,
regard,
the
it
gondola
actually,
keeps you upright.
yeah, that it actually acts like a Fabry booster or KMG speed.
Hmm.
That type of motion.
Yeah.
But it's 200 feet tall. It is taller than the Statue of Liberty.
Oh yeah, and they made that a point in this video. They actually have a graphic showing that, which I thought was interesting. Very cool marketing. Um, they also in the video have it taller than the space shuttle, or a space shuttle.
Which is interesting because space shuttles aren't even using it.
I know. I thought that's why I thought it was interesting that they made a point to like use that as a point of reference. But yes, this is going to be a very exciting ride, and an interesting feature is that it actually does have a dueling feature. You can opt for the dueling Zeta Swing, which will be two of the same rides actually connected with one another, right next to each other. And they actually,
Which, in that regard, it is like a scream and swing.
it is exactly. Yeah, it does an inverting scream and swing. Yep, exactly. Except again, the gondola, the seating arrangement will keep you in the upright position. Unlike if a scream and swing went upside down, you'd be going upside down as well.
Yeah,
just
this
for
is not
reference.
this one. Yeah,
but yeah,
really, it looks like a really fun ride.
it does. Yes, and it's huge.
really
I mean,
hope
this is the tallest pendulum ride in existence. It's taller than any of the others that have existed. They've surpassed their own rides, the other manufacturers' rides. This is the tallest, which I actually was like arguing against that for a second in my mind because I'm like, no, they have the Giga Discovery, but I'd forgotten that is just a term they use. It's not actually the Giga that we know as 300 feet. But yeah, so this is the tallest pendulum ride.
This will basically take you up in the air as far as Magnum, provided Magnum hasn't sunk.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't been out there with a tape measure. Have you? Maybe it is
not yet.
tempting.
I'm gonna be out there soon, but I haven't gotten out there yet. You'll see me with like excavation gear. I'm gonna be out there like I'm gonna be digging it back out. I'm gonna lifting it back up a little bit. But yes, this is honestly one of the coolest rides I think that came out of the conference because yeah, it's new. It's a record breaking, and I think it could be a real game changer for theme parks. I've always wanted to see a Scream and Swing invert. I didn't know if they would ever do it, SNS, but Zamperla seems to have taken that
Well, this won't
notion
actually.
and
This won't
implemented it.
actually take you upside down at any point, as far as I'm aware.
Well, not upside down, I guess, but okay. Let me or full revolve around. Like the actual pendulum goes a 3/6, like 3/6 forms a circle. That's more what I meant.
I would kind of like to see the actual like go upside down.
I would too. I would
Flip
like the
that
gondola to be stationary, and you actually do go upside down. But maybe
But
that's.
why don't they should make the gondola like a top spin, like, so they can
Oh man,
lock
I would
it.
no. I wouldn't do it.
No,
Would be.
I don't mean to make it behave like a top
Oh,
spin,
okay.
like where you could actually like have a cycle where it actually keeps you upside down. Like do one round upside down, but then you like
Oh
then
man,
you're still able.
I don't know. I might be.
Although I mean I would actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I'd be opposed to it operating like a top spin. but no, that's not what I meant. I meant just
I would be vomiting.
go.
I would be. Yeah, that would be a no go for me. Um, but yeah, this ride looks fantastic.
Sign me up.
It's exciting to see. Zamperla just continues to introduce new and innovative concepts, and it's great. It's great to see. They're a great company.
Yeah, I was actually reading from somebody that saw their presentation, and they said they actually kind of made fun of themselves that they they used to make crappy roller coasters, but now they're changing that, and they're actually trying to make sure that they produce quality rides. And I mean, it really does seem like they are evolving and becoming much better. I do wish they would do something about that whole load cycle on the Giga Discoveries and Giant Discoveries, but other than that, the rides have progressed, and they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, it seems they're definitely determined to establish themselves as a major ride manufacturer and rival some of the biggest names, which is great to see. Not just in terms of roller coasters, but again.
But yeah, but their coaster concepts look amazing as well.
Yeah,
their rides and coasters.
But that's the great thing is I don't know if we have a company that does both so well.
Chance.
No, but I would say Chance is a smaller name than Zamperla now.
Well, yeah, I mean Chance is a smaller name, but they do it really
Correct.
well.
That's what I'm saying. They seem to be trying to impose themselves as a large coaster manufacturer that actually does rides as well. So you kind of have that both aspects of it.
Well, Zamperla is more of a flat ride manufacturer, coaster manufacturer.
I agree, but they do both, and they're establishing themselves as a roller coaster manufacturer. I think, as well as continuing to stipulate rides.
Chance cheated. They just bought Morgan, and
yeah, they just acquired them, and they're like, "You're good."
But I mean, the toboggan was an interesting thing. But Chance did make some amazing rides before. Like some of the most iconic rides are actually Chance, like from the '60s and '70s. I wish they'd start making. I mean, the Zipper, like, oh, holy crap! Like, there is no ride better than the Zipper. There just isn't.
Yeah, all I know
they need to make a Giga Zipper. That's sorry, we're not talking about Chance. We're talking about Zamperla.
all I'm saying is that Zamperla is making themselves like an eminent name in the industry, and it's good to see like a company that's both roller coasters and flat rides, and not either or. And Chance aside, because Chance is obviously a name, but there again, I think they're a bit smaller and they're not as well known, which is why we advocated for them on the show. But Zamperla seems to be establishing themselves.
The interesting thing, though, is the last time we had that, it didn't go so well. Because we actually had Arrow Hus, or Arrow Hus, depending on how you pronounce it. That didn't last long. And look at like Hus is just gone. Like they make nothing good now.
Yeah, I don't know. They've
which is
kind of
sad. Like
dissipated.
that, they were the premier flat ride, and they're just a joke now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I haven't heard much activity out of them lately, so I don't know what
No,
they're
you
up
just
to.
hear about their rides being torn down.
Yeah, that's fair. I do hear about quite a bit of that.
I think they just compromise their quality. Uh, that's I think that's what it boils down to. Because
Yeah.
I mean, the Hus rides that are still around are still bulletproof. But like
Yep.
all the new rides, you look at the Topple Towers, the Sledgehammer model that they built at Canada's Wonderland. Um, there's been a couple other things that just they were cool concepts, but they just mechanically they just weren't there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was another tangent.
Another side, yeah.
Side trail.
On a
Yeah.
side note there. All right. Well, that does it for IAPA coverage.
There's one more. Just one thing you're forgetting about here.
Ah, there
The
is.
big one. Another
I
big
left
one.
it. Actually, I left it
one of
for
the
last.
things
That was my point. That's it for IAPA coverage. Aside from you didn't let me transition,
Is that
Bob.
yeah,
Let me
is that what
transition.
was going
You gotta
on?
let me finish here. Um, actually, this is something that our friend Timmy was really excited about because he's a big F1 fan, and the American F1 track is getting a theme park, and in addition to that theme park, will be a roller coaster. And not any roller coaster, but the Gerstlauer Infinity roller coaster that we've been talking about. Rada Entertainment had announced that
But a shuttle.
earlier on. Yes, exactly. It's a shuttle coaster. So it's not a roller coaster in Bob's book.
Wait, no, hold up. Never said that. I said it can't be counted as a giga or a hyper specifically.
Ugh. Yeah. All right. Well,
It is definitely a roller
it
coaster.
is. That was an exaggeration. That was a hyperbole.
I know what it was, but I need to make sure we set the record straight here.
Yeah. So this will be a shuttle roller coaster from Gerstlauer, called Palindrome. Not much is known other than it's going to be a 95-foot vertical loop, vertical lift hill. It's going to have a vertical twist drop, 2 inversions,
I mean,
and a vertical hop top stall.
there's also a POV,
There is, yeah,
so I wouldn't call that not much known.
yeah. I'm losing it tonight, Bob. Here, you're losing me. You're losing me fast. I had said, all right. Let me set the record straight here, since Bob just set the record straight. I had said to Bob, I need to get to bed early tonight because I've been tired lately, and not just regular tired, but like falling asleep in school tired. And so, yeah, that was not much known other than every single element the ride's going to incorporate. So,
And that it's gonna go over a road.
yeah, and that it's going to be at the F1. We know where it's going to be. We know what it's going to do. Other than that, there's not much known though.
It's kind of interesting. It's actually kind of funny that they are kind of touting that as this is. I mean, I love ride entertainment, but sometimes they make me laugh. So apparently they're like, oh, this is the first steel coaster that goes over a road, but apparently it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they realized that Ravine Flyer 2 is a thing because like that actually goes over a 4-lane highway. But it's wood, so they specifically had to say steel. But what? Oh, now I can't remember. What is it that's there's other coasters that go over roads. Steel coasters that go over roads that I can't think of.
Off the top of my head, I'm not 100% able to tell. I'm trying to think.
I think lightning rod goes over an access road.
Well, I guess you could say, Scream at Magic Mountain. If you want to be technical about it.
What's it go over?
It goes over the parking lot. It's a-
Well, and so, well, yeah, and that's one of the things that was brought up because that's the thing is, as far as I'm aware, the road that it goes over is actually the road into the parking lot from.
yeah, I mean,
So I don't know. It's
it's a,
kind of
it's already a dumbfounded argument in the
it's yeah it's very interesting. Um, but yeah, I mean it's definitely cool. It would be a lot more fun if it actually went over the F1 track.
yeah, that would be cool. I mean, that would be definitely cool, but sadly, we're not gonna. Or even if it raced the F1 track, like Ring Racer did. I mean, that would be
For a
cool.
couple days.
Yeah, for 3 days or whatever. But I mean, even if it did something of that nature, it'd be cool. But yeah, I'm not sure. The claim to fame here is going to be that it goes over the road.
Here's but I honestly, this is the absolute most important thing of this whole ride is
That there's not much known about it.
well, no, there's something despite all those few things that we know about it, there's one other thing that we are, and it is they call it a hop stall.
Yes.
And why has nobody done this before? Holy crap! This is so cool. It is so on the spike. It actually is going to do a bunny hop on the spike. I mean, who knows? We may ride this and think that was the dumbest thing ever, but I don't know. In
It
my
appears
mind,
on the actual POV to have a significant amount of
yeah, this
impact on the
looks
riders.
like it'll be fun. This looks like it'll be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really, really cool concept. And I am really shocked that nobody's done this before.
Indeed.
But that's literally what it does is as it's going up the spike, it actually does a little bunny hop.
And I love we're seeing more of the turntable rides at the parks, especially in the U.S. I know that's been done repeatedly, actually, in foreign countries, Europe mainly, I think, some maybe China and Japan. But with Pantheon, we're seeing like the switch track, and here we're seeing a turntable. So we're starting to see those unique ways of incorporating the switch track elements onto the rides at our parks. So.
Yeah, I do wonder. That's the one thing that they interestingly skip over in this video is how that switch track functions. So it makes me think it's going to be like a long process. I don't know that for sure, but it's just kind of interesting that it's like, oh, you have the whole POV, except the moment you hit the switch track, all of a sudden it like cuts to when you're exiting the switch track.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see. I don't know. This looks really fun, but I don't know. Me and Gerslauer, I kind of always have mixed. I really don't know what to predict overall.
Well, I'm gonna love this
up
thing
front.
for sure. I'm ready. I'm ready to ride, despite not knowing much about it. All right. Let's
don't
go.
know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I won't. Let's get on to our weekly poll for this week, which was a place of contention for me and Bob, and it's talking Candemonium, where people want to ride that ride. And
I don't know the results yet.
yes, I left them. I left them up in the air. I
What-
wanted Bob to
what
have a
is
live
it?
reaction. So it is a back row victory.
Oh my god! Come on, people.
It is. I'm sorry. 48 people voted for the front, and then obviously 54 voted for the back, or 52 voted for the back. So it was close.
So that's really close.
Oh, but it's a victory. I mean, that if it was the other way around,
All right, how many of those were your vote?
about 10. I'm just kidding. No, I created all these burner accounts just for this. No, no, that was everybody in our audience voting there, or everyone on our social media pages voting there, and on our website, all tallied together. And the back row came out, and actually, I think you'd find it funny. In Instagram, it was a front row victory, But once we tallied everything, from websites and everything together, and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, well, not Twitter, but our website, all combined into one singular vote, it was the back row. But you always give our Instagram audience a tough time, but they were siding with you for once.
Huh.
You done good, kid. You done good.
Yeah, you done good, Instagram community for once.
But back comes out Supreme here.
Supreme? I don't know about Supreme.
Supreme, yes. This settles it. There's no question. The debate has been
It does not
written in stone. Now I will give you credit for once I wrote it again this past trip. The front row is fun, and I think there are some really good moments of airtime in the front as well. It wasn't as black and white as I had remembered it being. Like, oh no, it's a clear cut back row. When the front row had some fun moments for sure. Yeah, so
I am really curious. I really wanted to see you ride the third row.
Have you ridden the third row?
Not objectively. I mean, I might have, but I
You don't
wasn't
recall.
really
Okay.
yeah. But
You
I've
weren't
been
riding the
hearing
third
some
row to
things.
ride in the third row. Yeah, I get you.
What's that?
You weren't
Yeah,
riding
yeah.
to ride there, yeah.
Yeah, and I really want to see your opinion too, because I'm hearing some things about the third row that's kind of interesting. I don't. I'm not so sure that I'll like it, but I'm kind of getting a feeling that you might really like it from some of the things I'm hearing.
Okay.
I don't know. This is pure. Really, honestly, this is not me trying to trap you or anything.
No,
This is
I'm
pure
saying-
curiosity for me.
I'm saying I will
really
do it.
curious.
I'm
yeah,
just interested that
I'm
you
really
won't like
curious.
it, but I will. All right. Well, yeah, that's our poll for this week. You guys voted on that. Next week's we're gonna stick on the B&M trend because while the Candemonium debate is a
Because we had another fight about B&Ms.
well, I'd say the major B&M argument between us is not Candemonium. Like that's kind of a minuscule one that we every once in a while when we go up to Hershey we have that. But the big one is whether or not Nitro is a good ride. And maybe that should be the poll, but it's not. We're actually going to have you guys rank the B&M Hypers, and most of you probably ridden Nitro, so we'll see where that falls in with many people's rankings. But that's kind of where we derived this poll from, is talking about that. But we're going to have you rank all the B&M Hypers. We're going to talk about our favorites. I've ridden, jeez.
Let's
Eight or
be
nine?
clear about this too. The whole thing about Nitro is
It sucks.
like
yeah.
I think there's I think physics is broken. I think there is a problem with physics, and something just doesn't. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's an amazing.
Maybe it's the right
system,
side of the
so-
train because I don't know. Like I've ridden there actually, thinking about it, but both times we've ridden together, you've been on the right side and I've been on the left. But I don't. That's not really how it works. But
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know about B&M, but I will tell you that I really think that that's what happened on Shellraiser. I think one side of the train is far better than the other, especially in regards to getting a headache from a rattle.
well, okay. Well, I agree. You're talking about like rideability and the
Yeah.
that I can see. Like maybe there's a wheel on one side. Like that could be definitely. But I don't know about like just the basic forces being different on one side or the
Yeah,
other.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I just think there's some weird physics things going on over there. Maybe part of the Houdini magic slipped over there and it's like just doing some weird stuff.
I don't know, but yeah, me and Airtime Mike were in the chat saying, "How can you get any airtime?" And Bob's like, "I've gotten so much."
Well, every hill. Now listen, I'm not saying that like a great first drop or anything, but every single Camelback, I am completely out of my seat. Every single Camelback, and I don't understand how I can feel that. I can literally out of the seat, and James says he doesn't even move.
And then there's me. I've thought that B&M somehow developed some sort of anomaly where you actually just they were like, let's design a Camelback where it's physically impossible to get airtime.
And
It's like just the
this
perfect
really is-
curvature. We
I-
like we found the arc sign. Like it's like I don't know how they did it, but some
honest
sort
to
of
God, it's
aberration
weird.
where they've
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. B&M, I don't know. Something's going on with B&M. I mean, even Candemonium, I still say, even though I like the front row is the best ride. I love the front row, but like I would never say that about any other. I didn't even believe it at first either.
you're saying that.
Pam made me ride the front because she wanted to, just because she wanted to ride in the front. Otherwise, I probably never would have gotten the front seat ever.
But you were
And
saying
then
about.
I did, and I went, what?
You were saying that I kind of cut off on my end for a second. Did you say that they're the only two B&M hypers that give you consistent airtime?
No.
Okay.
No. What I was saying is like it's weird because of like the like you were saying like B and M like Nitro is like you love B and M's and you're all like, you feel airtime. Understand
Okay.
why Nitro seems to be such a dud, but like I'm kind of in the same situation. I mean, I disagree with your take on that clearly, but what I'm saying is I'm in the same situation with Candemonium because I mean I like B and M hypers, I love them. But why in God's name would I ever ride a B&M Hyper in any seat other than the back seat? But on Candemonium, like that doesn't fit the logic that I know, except for some reason that one's different. It's like, what is B&M doing? Like what happened? Why does physics
Bob, we
change?
just got conclusive results that that's not true. And that you're just going crazy. All right. Well, if we didn't
question about
already
Nitro is though, why is Nitro such a huge issue? Because this isn't just you and me.
Oh no, this stems
This
far
is an
far into the community.
enthusiast thing. Like, why is Nitro so polarizing? I don't understand it. It's such a weird thing, and I like.
It might be the most polarizing argument, I think, like in the community, really. For a specific ride, I would say. I mean, there are definitely topics and certain parks and all that cause controversy, but I think for a specific ride, it might be the most dividing. I can't think of another one that's so it separates people into these groups so much. Like,
Yeah,
it sucks.
and
It's great.
and it really does. It's weird, and it's the fact that it's about something so objective. Like you can feel yourself coming out of the seat, or you can't. But like, what? It's so weird. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
It really is. If you stand back and don't take a position and look at it, it's a very, very weird thing.
Yeah, and my physics teacher actually said, as I was talking to him about this, and he was like, I will give you one of my accelerometers to take on the ride and measure the actual forces of it if you want. And we can, have conclusive evidence and data collected on, what's true. What is it? What are we looking at?
We might have to do that.
Yeah, I'll have to take up on that offer. But let's not get. That was basically, we're just covering what the weekly poll for next week is there. So
this is a preview of the disaster that next week will be.
Let's not dive into that too much. We'll talk about that next week, and we'll talk about all the other B&M hypers as well. All coming up on next week's show. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of Coaster Talk Podcast. If you want to answer the weekly poll, which again will be ranking your B&M hypers, any of them, and it doesn't matter if you've ridden one, even if you've ridden one, list off, tell us what you've ridden, tell us why you like it, or what you don't like about it. Maybe if you've only ridden one, give us, pros and cons of it. If you've ridden a couple, even, we'll take it. It doesn't have to be an extensive list. So coachtalkpodcast.com/poll is where you'll do that. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Coach Talk Pod is where you can find us on social media. Also, you can go to our YouTube channel for video content. That's Coach Talk Podcast, 3 separate words. If you want to contact the show with any comments, questions, or concerns, you can do so by going to coachtalkpodcast.com/contact, or by emailing us, james@coachtalkpodcast.com or bob@coachtalkpodcast.com. And currently, there's an ongoing competition of sorts for audience members to send in audio files to the show and we will play your audio file on the show, and you'll receive a prize if we deem your audio file worthy. And and that can be, that's kind of an ambiguous meaning. We're not giving that meaning yet because we don't know. Maybe it makes us laugh. Maybe it makes us think. Maybe it makes us debate. Whatever it may be, whatever you send us in, depending on what we do with it, you could get the prize or not. So it doesn't have to be a specific format or anything. You can send in anything to us. Just an audio file, coaster related. We'd love to hear it. And then lastly, if you want to support the show, coachdarkpodcast.com/shop is where you can find any merchandise for the show. So thank you guys so much for listening to the episode once again, and we will see you next week. Didn't know if you wanted to say anything.
Nah, I usually don't.
Yeah, because you talk so much during their actual episode.
Yeah. I did this episode.
Is this
That roller coaster museum rant was way, way bigger than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, you were starting to get a little pissed off there. I was starting to get worried. I'm starting to be like, all right, we're never going to get any guests on the show. I was pretty much about to say, like, that's pretty much a nail in the coffin there.
I've actually talked to people, though, that have actually told me the one thing that they love about our show is that we don't
cater. Yeah, I agree. I
like
agree. No, I don't
like a
disagree
lot
with
of shows are like, oh, we don't want to say that because we might want to have
Well, we don't want
them
to
on.
upset them. Yeah, I agree. I don't
Which,
disagree.
I mean, I get there's downfalls to that, but at the same
But
time,
there's a
like,
limit too. Sometimes I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I know what I think the guy the chairman of the board for the Roller Coaster Museum is Adam. The guy from San Perlo. And that'd be cool to have him on, but I don't know if after that he would come on.
Oh well, I actually didn't know he was the. But see that's the thing is like I mean it doesn't and it's not always down to one person like
No, I agree.
Like I'm not gonna point the finger to any single person. Yeah, no, yeah. But no, Adam Sandy's great. Like I've heard him on other shows. Like I have nothing against all.
Yeah, he's on the Drunk Riders.
Yeah, they're actually good friends.
Yep.
And I mean, well, and that's the thing too is I love what the Roller Coaster Museum is, and I even said that. I made it a point to say, like that's one of those things. That is clearly one of those issues. Like there's sometimes where I just get pissed. Like Todd Joseph, like I'm just outright pissed. Like I don't care about like he's just an ass, and that's end of story.
Yeah, I really want to have Todd Joseph on the show, though. I'm just kidding.
But like when it comes to like that rant about the Roller Coaster Museum, like that is not a rant out of I hate the Roller Coaster Museum. That is a rant out of I really care about what, like I really care about what you're doing.
Yeah,
I know.
I know. I agree, and I realize that it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, and then I know, like, I get, but people also like say they like.
I don't know if it's. I don't know what it is. I don't get as passionate about you as the certain like there are things I get mad about, but like you get like mad. Like when you get mad, you're like screaming. I don't know, it's like the way you deliver things. It seems like you're really mad, even though you're just.
But I'm not. Yeah, and I'm not. Like that's the thing. It's just how I come off. You've never seen me.
Well, maybe I have. No.
No.
I'm thinking of Knoebels.
There's very few times. No, that wasn't even like I mean, that was me genuinely like upset, but I was not like fuming mad. There's only been a few times that I've been
mad.
So mad.
Which I don't know. That's one feel. I don't know. I just haven't ever reached that point in my life. Maybe, which is good. I mean.
Yeah, you don't want. Trust me, you don't want.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's
There was one time oh my God, I lost it on one of our firefighters. Like I lost it on him. We talked about it later. Like, it was one of those things where like later, okay. Like it wasn't there was definitely none of this sorry. It was like it was clear like no, I meant that, but like listen, here's how we're gonna fix it. But yeah, I was mad. Actually, ironically, the the most times that I've been that mad were actually in the fire service, which is weird, but that's actually when
makes
most of
sense. It's
the
a profession, high stress profession.
yeah.
All right. Well, we finished, and I'm gonna go to bed. So let's end the
Yeah.
stream here.
Yep. See you guys. Oh yeah, there's not gonna be a live stream next week.
Nope.
Should have mentioned that on
Executive
the show,
decision.
but yeah.
We gotta. I know all of you are so disappointed, but we gotta. We don't know when we're gonna be recording the show, so we can't set a definite date for the live stream. So that would just be a lot to try to orchestrate.
Yeah.
So yeah, none of that going on next week. We will have a show though for you guys. So,
Yep.
So Pam, there will be an audio file out there. You won't be able to watch the video, but you can listen to it if you can figure out how. If we can try to assist you if you want, we can try to set it up for you. But all right, we will see you guys next week, or you'll listen to us next week.
Yep.
You'll hear
Happy
from us next week.
Thanksgiving.
You won't see us next week. All right, see you guys.